Short exercise 14-4, pricing bonds. So bond prices depend on the market rate of interest, the stated rate of interest, which is the interest rate that the bond will actually pay, and then time. So in this short exercise, we're going to have 4 different scenarios, and we're going to practice figuring out what the price is of the bonds. So it says, compute the price of the following 8% bonds of Country Telecom. So Country Telecom issued $100,000 of bonds, but the price that they got is 75.25. Now this 75.25 is a percent of 100,000. So just take 100,000 times 0.7525 and you get 75,250. So when the bonds mature, they're going to have to pay $100,000, but when they sold the bonds, they only got 75,250. So why did they not get 100%? Well, probably because their 8% bonds are paying a lower interest rate than other bonds. For example, maybe other bonds are paying 9%. So who wants to buy an 8% bond when they could just buy other bonds at 9%? So what they have to do is they have to accept a lower price to entice people to buy their lower interest rate bonds. Okay, in this next separate scenario, they're getting 103.5. So they're getting more than the par value. So to calculate how much they receive, you take 100,000 times 1.035 and you get 103,500. So why might they have gotten this extra amount? Maybe because other bonds are paying 7%, but this bond is paying 8%. Next scenario, $100,000 of bonds, and they get a price of 94.5%. So that's 94,500. How do I get that? 100,000 times 0.945. And then the last scenario, they issued $100,000 of bonds, issued 103.25. Again, they got extra. So take 100,000 times 1.0325 and you get 103,250. So they receive 103,250 when they sell the bonds, and then when the bonds mature, they're going to have to pay only 100,000. And then it says, which bond will Country Telecom have to pay the most to retire at maturity? Well, if you're paying attention, you notice every time I said that they're going to have to pay back the 100,000. So this is kind of a trick question by the publishers. So Country Telecom will pay $100,000 at maturity for all 4 of the bonds. The bonds all have the same maturity value. And that's it.